Two Gentlemen of Verona, Act 1, Scene 1. Synopsis. Valentine, preparing to leave for Milan, says farewell to Proteus, who stays in Verona to be near Julia. Valentine's servant, Speed, informs Proteus that he has given Proteus's letter to Julia. Speed then leaves to join Valentine. Scene 1. Enter Valentine and Proteus.
Unmute myself, my beloved Proteus. Cease to persuade my loving Proteus. Home-keeping youth have ever homely wits. Were it not affection changed thy tender days to the sweet glances of thy honored love, I rather would entreat thy company to see the wonders of the world abroad than living dully sluggardized at home, where out thy youth with shapeless idleness. But since thou lovest love still and thrive therein, even as I would when I to love begin.
Wilt thou be gone? Sweet Valentine, adieu. Think on thy Proteus when thou haply seest some rare, noteworthy object in thy travel. Wish me partaker in thy happiness when thou dost meet good hap, and in thy danger, if ever danger do environ thee, commend thy grievance to my holy prayers, for I will be thy beadsman, Valentine.
And a love book pray for my success?
Upon some book I love, I'll pray for thee.
That's on some shallow story of deep love, how young Linder crossed the Hellespont.
That's a deep story of a deeper love, for he was more than over shoes in love.
'Tis true, for you are over boots in love, and yet you never swam the Hellespont.
Over the boots? Nay, give me not the boots.
No, I will not, for its boots thee not.
What?
To be in love where scorn is brought with groans, coy look with heart's sore sighs, one fading moment's mirth. With 20 watchful, weary, tedious nights, if haply won, perhaps a hapless gain. If lost, why then a grievous labor won? However, but a folly brought with wit, or else a wit by folly vanquished.
So, by your circumstance, you call me fool.
So, by your circumstances, I fear you'll prove.
'Tis love you cavil at. I am not love.
Love is your master, for he masters you. And he that is so yoked by a fool, methinks should not be chronicled for wise.
Yet writers say, as in the sweetest bud, the eating canker dwells. So eating love inhabits in the finest wits of all.
And writers say, as the most forward bud is eaten by the canker ere it blow, even so by love the young and tender wit is turned to folly, blasting in the bud, losing his verdure even in the prime, and all the fair effects of future hopes. But wherefore waste I time to counsel thee that art of votary to fond desire? Once more adieu. My father at the road expects my coming, there to see me shipped.
And thither I will bring thee, Valentine.
Sweet Proteus, no. Now let us take our leave. To Milan let me hear from thee by letters of thy success in love, and what news else betitteth here in absence of thy friend. And I likewise will visit thee with mine.
All happiness but chance to thee in Milan.
As much to you at home, and so farewell.
He exits.
He after honor hunts, I after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I leave myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosed me, made me neglect my studies, lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing weak, heart sick with thought.
Enter Speed.
Sir Speed.
Fuck me in the fucking face. Okay. Sir Proteus, save you. Saw you, my master.
But now he parted hence to embark for Milan.
20-1, then. He is shipped already, and I have played the sheep in losing him.
Indeed, a sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
You conclude that my master is a shepherd, then, and I a sheep?
I do.
Why, then my horns are his horns, whether I wake or sleep.
A silly answer, and fitting well a sheep.
This proves me still a sheep.
True, and thy master a shepherd.
Nay, that I can deny by a circumstance.
It shall go hard, but I'll prove it by another.
The shepherd seeks the sheep, and not the sheep the shepherd. But I speak my master, and my master seeks not me, therefore I am no sheep.
The sheep for fodder follow the shepherd. The shepherd for food follows not the sheep. Thou for wages followest thy master. Thy master for wages follows not thee, therefore thou art a sheep.
Such another proof will make me cry, bah!
But dost thou hear? Gavest thou my letter to Julia?
I, sir, I, a lost mutton, gave your letter to her, a laced mutton, and she, a laced mutton, gave me, a lost mutton, nothing for my labor.
Here's too small a pasture for such store of muttons.
If the ground be overcharged, you were best stick here, her.
Nay, in that you are astray, 'twere best pound you.
Ooh, nay, sir, less than a pound shall serve me for carrying your letter.
You mistake. I mean the pound, a pinfold.
From a pound to a pin? Fold it over and over. 'Tis threefold too little for carrying a letter to your lover.
But what said she?
Aye.
Not I? Why, that's naughty.
You mistook, sir. I say she did not, and you asked me if she did not, and I said I.
And that set together is naughty.
Now you have taken the pains to set it together. Take it for your pains.
No, you shall have it for bearing the letter.
Well, I perceive I must be fain to bear with you.
Why, sir, how do you bear with me?
Marry, sir, the letter, for orderly, have nothing but the word naughty for my pains.
Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
And yet it cannot overtake your slow purse.
Come, open the matter. In brief, what said she?
Open your purse, that the money and the matter may be both at once delivered.
Well, sir, here is for your pain. What said she?
Truly, sir, I think you'll hardly win her.
Why? Couldst thou perceive so much from her?
Sir, I could perceive nothing at all from her. No, not so much as a ducat for delivering your letter. And being so hard to me that brought your mind, I fear she'll prove as hard to you in telling your mind. Give her no token but stones, for she's as hard as steel.
What said she? Nothing?
No, not so much as take this for thy pains. To testify your bounty, I thank you. You have testerned me, in requital whereof henceforth carry your letters yourself. And so, sir, I'll commend you to my master.
Go, be gone, to save your ship from wreck, which cannot perish, having thee aboard, but being destined to a drier death on shore. I must go send some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not deign my lines, receiving them from such a worthless post.
He exits. Act 1, Scene 2, synopsis. Julia receives Proteus's letter and pretends to be very angry at his presumption. Scene 2, enter Julia and Lucetta.
But say, Lucetta, now we are alone, wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Aye, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with parley encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest to love?
Please repeat their names. I'll show my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkst thou of fair Sir Eglamour?
As a knight well-spoken, neat and fine, but were I you, he never should be mine.
What thinkest thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well of his wealth, but of him so-so.
What thinkest thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
How now? What means this passion at his name?
Pardon, Dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus, as of all the rest?
And thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no other but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
Yet he of all the rest, I think best loves you.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
Oh, they love least than let men know their love.
I would I knew his mind.
Peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia. Say from whom?
That the contents will show.
Say, who gave it thee?
Sir Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker, dare you presume to harbor wanton lines, to whisper and conspire against my youth? Now trust me, 'tis an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place. There, take the paper and see it be returned, or else take no more into my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will you be gone?
That you may ruminate.
She exits.
And yet I would I had o'erlooked the letter. It were a shame to call her back again, and pray her to fault, for which I did chide her. What fool she is that knows I am a maid, and would not force the letter to my view, since maids in modesty say no to that which they would have the proffer construe. Fie! How wayward is this foolish love, that like a testy babe will scratch the nurse, and presently, all humbled, kiss the rod. How churlishly did I chide Lucetta hence, when willingly I would have had her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown, then inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance is to call Lucetta back, and ask remission for my folly past. What ho, Lucetta!
Enter Lucetta.
What would your ladyship?
Is't near dinner time?
I would it were, that you might kill your stomach on your meat and not upon your maid.
She drops a paper and then retrieves it.
What is that thou took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To take a paper up that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Madam, it will not lie where it concerns unless it have a false interpreter.
Some love of yours hath writ to you in rhyme.
That I might sing it, madam, not, madam, to a tune. Give me a note. Your ladyship can set.
As little by such toys as may be possible, best sing it to the tune of Light O' Love.
It is too heavy for so light a tune.
Heavy? Feel like it hath some burden then.
Aye, and melodious were it. Would you sing it?
And why not you?
I cannot reach so high.
So self-deprecating.
Let me see your song. How now, minion?
Keep tune there still, so you will sing it out. And yet methinks I do not like this tune.
You do not?
No, madam, 'tis too sharp.
You, minion, are too saucy.
Nay, no, you are too flat, and mar the concord with too harsh a decant. A descant. There wanteth but a mean to fill your song.
The mean is drowned with your unruly bass.
Indeed, I bid the bass for Proteus.
This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Here is a coil with protestation.
She rips up the paper. Lucetta begins to pick up the pieces.
Go, get you gone, and let the papers lie. You would be firing them, fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange, but she was best pleased to be so angered with another letter.
She exits.
Nay, I were so angered with the same. Oh, hateful hands to tear such loving words, injurious wasps to feed on such sweet honey, and kill the bee that yields it with your stings. I'll kiss each several paper for amends.
She picks up some pieces.
Look, here is writ, kind Julia, unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love-wounded Proteus, Poor wounded name, my bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss, but twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away, till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name. And some whirlwind bear unto a ragged, fearful, hanging rock, and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia, that I'll tear away. And yet I will not, saith so prettily, he couples it to his complaining names. Thus I will fold them one upon another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Enter Lucetta.
Madam, dinner is ready, and your father stays.
Well, let us go.
What shall these papers lie like telltales here?
Well, if you respect them, best to take them up.
Nay, I was taken up for laying them down. Yet here they lie, they shall not lie for catching cold.
She picks up the rest of the pieces.
I see you have a month's mind to them.
Aye, madam, you may say what sights you see. I see things too, although you judge I wink.
Come. Will it please you to go?
They exit. Act 1, Scene 3. Synopsis. Proteus, reading a letter from Julia, encounters his father, Antonio, and tells him that the letter is from Valentine, who wishes Proteus were with him in Milan. Antonio informs Proteus that he is to leave immediately to join Valentine in Milan. Scene 3. Enter Antonio and Pantino.
Tell me, Pantino, what sad talk was that wherewith my brother held you in the cloister?
'Twas of his nephew, Proteus, your son.
Why, what of him?
He wondered that your lordship would suffer him to spend his youth at home, while other men of slender reputation put forth their sons to seek preferment out, some to the wars to try their fortune there, some to discover islands far away, some to the studious universities. For any or for all these exercises, he said that Proteus your son was meet, and did request me to importune you to let him spend his time no more at home, which would be great impeachment to his age, in having known no travel in his youth.
Nor needest thou much importune me to that whereon this month I have been hammering. I have considered well his loss of time, and how he cannot be a perfect man, not being tried and tutored in the world. Experience is by industry achieved and perfected by the swift course of time. Then tell me where I best to send him.
I think your lordship is not ignorant how his companion, youthful Valentine, attends the emperor in his royal court.
I know it well.
'Twere good, I think, your lordship sent him thither. There shall he practice tilts and tournaments, hear sweet discourse, converse with noblemen, and be in eye of every exercise, worthy his youth and nobleness of birth.
I like thy counsel. Well, hast thou advised, and that thou mayest perceive how well I like it, the execution of it shall make known. Even with the speediest expedition, I will dispatch him to the emperor's court.
Tomorrow, may it please you, Don Alfonso, with other gentlemen of good esteem, are journeying to salute the emperor, and to commend their service to his will.
Good company. With them shall Proteus go.
Enter Proteus, reading.
And in good time, now will we break with him.
Sweet love, sweet lines, sweet life. Here's her hand, the agent of her heart. Here is her oath for love, her honor's pawn. Oh, that our fathers would applaud our loves to seal our happiness with their consents. Oh, heavenly Julia.
How now? What letter are you reading there?
May it please your lordship, 'tis a word or two of commendation sent from Valentine, delivered by a friend that came from him.
Lend me the letter. Let me see what news.
There's no news, my lord, but that he writes how happily he lives, how well beloved and daily graced by the emperor, wishing you with him, partner of his fortune.
And how stand you affected to his wish?
As one relying on your lordship's will and not depending on his friendly wish.
My will is something sorted with his wish. Muse not that I thus subtly proceed, for what I will, and there an end. I am resolved that thou shalt spend some time with Valentinus in the emperor's court. What maintenance he from his friends receives, like like exhibition thou shalt have from me. Tomorrow be in readiness to go. Excuse it not, for I am peremptory.
My lord, I cannot be so soon provided. Please, you deliberate a day or two.
Look, what thou wants shall be sent after thee, no more stay. Tomorrow thou must go. Come on, Fantino, you shall be employed to hasten on his expedition.
Antonio and Pantino exit.
Thus how I shunned the fire for fear of burning, and drenched me in the sea where I am drowned. I feared to show my father Julia's letter, lest he should take exceptions to my love. And with the vantage of mine own excuse, hath he accepted most against my love. Oh, how this spring of love resembleth the uncertain glory of an April day, which now shows all the beauty of the sun, and by and by a cloud takes all away.
Enter Pantino. Sir, Proteus, your father calls for you. He is in haste, therefore I pray you go.
Why, this it is. My heart accords thereto, and yet 1,000 times it answers no.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 1. Synopsis. Valentine learns, with Speed's help, that the letter Sylvia had him write conveying her love to an admirer was intended for himself. Scene 1. Enter Valentine and Speed, carrying a glove.
Sir, your glove.
Not mine. My gloves are on.
Why then, this may be yours, for this is but one.
Huh? Let me see. Aye, give it me, it's mine. Sweet ornament that decks a thing divine. A Sylvia. Sylvia!
Madam Sylvia! Madam Sylvia!
How now, sirrah?
She is not within hearing, sir.
Why, sir, who bade you call her?
Your worship, sir, or else I mistook.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
And yet I was last chidden for being too slow.
Go to, sir. Tell me, do you know Madam Sylvia?
She that your worship loves?
Why, how know you that I am in love?
Mary, by these special marks. First, you have learned, like Sir Proteus, to wreathe your arms like a malcontent, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast, to walk alone like one that had the pestilence, to sigh like a schoolboy that had lost his ABC, to weep like a young wench that had buried her grandam, to fast like one that takes diet, to watch like one that fears robbing, to speak puling like a beggar at Hallowmass. You were wont, when you laughed, to crow like a cock. When you walked, to walk like one of the lions. When you fasted, it was presently after dinner. When you looked sadly, it was for want of money. And now you are metamorphosed with a mistress that when I look on you, I can hardly think you my master.
Are all these things perceived in me?
They are all perceived without you.
Without me? They cannot.
Without you, nay, that's certain. For without you are so simple, none else would. But you are so without these follies that these follies are within you and shine through you like the water in a urinal. And not an eye that sees you, but is a physician to comment on your malady.
But tell me, dost thou know my lady Sylvia?
She that you gaze on, nope. She that you gaze on so as she sits at supper.
Hast thou observed that? Even she I mine?
Why, sir, I know her not.
Dost thou know her by my gazing on her, and yet knowst her not?
Is she not hard favored, sir?
Not so fair, boy, as well favored.
Sir, I know that well enough.
What dost thou know?
But she is not so fair as of you well favored.
I mean that her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
That's because the one is painted and the other out of all count.
How painted? And how out of count?
Marry, sir, so painted to make her fair that no man counts of her beauty.
How esteemest thou me? I account of her beauty.
You never saw her since she was deformed.
How long has she been deformed?
Ever since you loved her!
I have loved her ever since I saw her, and still I see her beautiful.
If you love her, you cannot see her.
Why?
Because love is blind. Oh, that you had mine eyes, or your own eyes had the lights they were wont to have when you child at Sir Proteus for going on Gartered.
What should I see then?
Your own present folly and her passing deformity. For he, being in love, could not see to garter his hose, and you, being in love, cannot see to put on your hose.
Be like, boy, then you are in love, for last morning you could not see to wipe my shoes.
True, sir, I was in love with my bed. I thank you. You swinged me for my love, which makes me the bolder to chide you for yours.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
I would you were set, so your affection would cease.
Last night she enjoined me to write some lines in one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
Are they not lamely writ?
No, boy. But as well as I can do them, peace. Here she comes.
Enter Sylvia.
Oh, excellent motion. Oh, exceeding puppet. Now will he interpret to her.
Madam and mistress, 1,000 good morrows.
Oh, give ye good even. Here's a million of manners.
Sir Valentine and servant to you 2,000.
He should give her interest, and she gives it him.
As you enjoined me, I have writ you letter unto the secret, nameless friends of yours, which I was much unwilling to proceed in, but for my duty to your ladyship.
He gives her a paper.
I thank you, gentle servant. 'Tis very clerkly done.
Now trust me, madam, it comes hardly off. For being ignorant to whom it goes, I writ at random very doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of such pains?
No, madam. So it steed you, I will write. Please you command 1,000 times as much, and yet...
A pretty period. Well, I guess the sequel. And yet I will not name it, and yet I care not. And yet, take this again.
She holds out the paper.
And yet I thank you, meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will, and yet another yet.
What means your ladyship? Do you not like it?
Yes, the lines are very quaintly writ, but since unwillingly, take them again. Nay, take them.
Again, she offers him the paper.
Madam, they are for you.
Aye, you writ them, sir, at my request, but I would none of them. They are for you. I would have had them writ more movingly.
Please you. I'll write your ladyship another.
And when it's writ, for my sake, writ it over. And if it please you, so. If not, why so?
If it please me, madam, what then?
Why, if it please you, take it for your labor. And so good morrow, servant.
Sylvia exits.
Oh, just unseen, inscrutable, invisible as a nose on a man's face or a weathercock on a steeple. My master sues to her, and she hath taught her suitor, he being her pupil, to become her tutor. Oh, excellent device! Was there ever heard a better, that my master being scribe to himself should write the letter?
How now, sir? What are you reasoning with yourself?
Nay, I was rhyming. 'Tis you that have the reason.
To do what?
To be a spokesman for Madame Sylvia.
To whom?
To yourself, why, she woos you by a figure.
What figure?
By a letter, I should say.
Why, she hath not writ to me.
What needs she when she hath made you write to yourself? Why, do you not perceive the jest?
No, believe me.
No believing you indeed, sir, but did you perceive her earnest?
She gave me none, except an angry word.
Why, she hath given you a letter.
That's the letter I writ to her friend.
And that letter hath she delivered, and there an end.
I would it were no worse.
I'll warrant you 'tis as well. For often have you writ to her, and she in modesty, or else for want of idle time, could not again reply, or fearing else some messenger that might her mind discover, herself hath taught her love himself to write unto her lover. All this I speak in print, for in print I found it. Why muse you, sir? 'Tis dinner time.
I have dined.
Aye, but hearken, sir, though the chameleon love can feed on the air, I am one that am nourished by my victuals, and would fain have meat. Oh, be not like your mistress. Be moved! Be moved!
They exit. Act 2, Scene 2. Synopsis. Proteus takes his leave of Julia, promising to be faithful and sealing their love with a kind of hand-fasting or betrothal. Scene 2. Enter Proteus and Julia.
Have patience, gentle Julia.
I must, where is no remedy.
If possibly I can, when possibly I can, I will return.
If you turn not, you will return the sooner. Keep this remembrance for thy Julia's sake.
She gives him a ring.
Why, then we'll make exchange. Here, take you this.
And seal the bargain with a holy kiss?
Here is my hand for my true constancy. And when that hour o'erslips me in the day wherein I sigh not, Julia, for thy sake, the next ensuing hour some foul mischance torment me for my love's forgetfulness. My father stays my coming. Answer not. The tide is now. Nay, not thy tide of tears. That tide will stay me longer than I should. Julia, farewell.
Julia exits.
What? Gone without a word? Aye, so true love should do. It cannot speak, for true truth hath better deeds than words to grace it.
Enter Pantino. Sir Proteus, you are stayed for.
Go, I come. Alas, this parting strikes poor lovers dumb.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 3. Synopsis. Lance grieves that he must part from his family to travel with Proteus, and he chastises his dog, Crab, for not sharing his grief. Enter Lance, weeping with his dog, Crab. If Ellie was here, I would have a dog. Nay, 'twill be this hour ere I have done weeping. All kinds of the Lances have this very fault. I have received my proportion, like the prodigus son, and am going with Sir Proteus to the Imperial's court. I think Crab, my dog, be the sourest-natured dog that ever lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling, our cat wringing her hands, and all our house in a great perplexity. Yet did not this cruel-hearted cur shed one tear. He is a stone, a very pibble stone, and has no more pity in him than a dog. A Jew would have wept to see our party.
Oh, wow.
My grandam, having no eyes to look at you, wept herself blind at my parting. Nay, I'll show you the manner of it. He takes off his shoes. This shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my father. No. This left shoe is my mother. Nay, that cannot be so neither. Yes, it is so. It hath the worser soul. This shoe with the hole in it is my mother, and this is my father. A vengeance onto there 'tis. Now, sir, this staff is my sister, for look you, she is as white as a lily and as small as a wand. This hat is Nan, our maid. I am the dog. No, the dog is himself, and I am the dog. Oh, the dog is me, and I am myself? Aye, so. Now come I to my father. Father, your blessing. Now, should not the shoe speak a word for weeping? Now should I kiss my father? He kisses the shoe. Well, he weeps on. Now I come to my mother. Oh, that she could speak now like a wold woman. Well, I kiss her, kisses the other shoe. Why, there 'tis. Here's my mother's breath up and down. Now come I to my sister. Mark the moans she makes. Now, the dog all this while sheds not a tear nor speaks a word. But see how I lay the dust with my tears. Can someone because I'm about to be Pentino. Enter Pentino. Lance, away, aboard. Thy master is shipped, and thou art to post after with oars. What's the matter? Why weepest thou, man? Away, ass. You'll lose the tide if you tarry any longer.
It is no matter of the tide we're lost, for it is the unkindest tide that ever any man tied.
What's the unkindest tide?
Why, he that's tied here, Crab, my dog.
Tut, man, I mean thou lose the flood, and in losing the flood, lose thy voyage, and in losing thy voyage, lose thy master, and in losing thy master, lose thy service, and in losing thy service, why dost thou stop my mouth?
For fear thou shouldst lose thy tongue.
Where should I lose my tongue?
In thy tail.
In thy tail?
Lose the tide and the voyage and the master and the service and the tide. Why, man, if the river were dry, I am able to fill it with my tears. If the wind were down, I would drive the boat with my sighs.
Come away, man. I was sent to call thee.
Sir, call me what thou darest.
Wilt thou go?
Well, I will go.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 4. Synopsis. Proteus arrives and is greeted by Valentine and Sylvia. He immediately falls in love with Sylvia. Scene 4.
Oh no!
Valentine.
Oh, no.
Sylvia, Thurio, and Speed.
Servant.
Mistress?
Master, Sir Thurio frowns on you.
Aye, boy.
Aye, boy.
Oh, sorry.
Aye, boy. It's for love.
Not of you.
Of my mistress, then.
For good you knocked him.
Servant, you're sad.
Indeed, madam. I seem so.
Seem that you are not.
Happily, I do.
So do counterfeits.
So do you.
What seem I that I am not?
Wise.
What instance of the contrary?
Your folly.
And how quote you my folly?
I quote in your jerkin.
My jerkin is a doublet.
Well, then I'll double your folly.
How?
What angry, Sir Thurio? Do you change color?
Give him leave, madam. He is a kind of chameleon.
That hath more mind to feed on your blood than live in your air.
You have said, sir.
Aye, sir, and done too for this time.
I know it well, sir. You always end ere you begin.
A fine volley of words, gentlemen, and quickly shut off.
'Tis indeed, madam. We thank the giver.
Who's that, servant?
Yourself, sweet lady, for you gave the fire. Sir Thurio borrows his wit from your ladyship's looks and spends what he borrows kindly in your company.
Sir, if you spend word for word with me, I shall make your wit bankrupt.
I know it well, sir. You have an esquiture of words, and I think no other treasure to give your followers, for it appears by their bare liveries that they live by your bare words.
No more, gentlemen, no more. Here comes my father.
Enter Duke.
Now, daughter Sylvia, you are hard beset. Sir Valentine, your father, is in good health. What say you to a letter from your friends with much good news?
My lord, I will be thankful to any happy messenger from thence.
Know you Don Antonio, your countryman?
Ay, my good lord, I know the gentleman to be of worth and worthy estimation, and not without desert so well reputed.
Hath he not a son?
Ay, my good lord, a son that will deserve the honor and regard of such a father.
You know him well?
I knew him as myself, for from our infancy we have conversed and spent our hours together, and thou myself have been an idle truant, omitting the sweet benefit of time to cloth mine age with angel-like perfection. Yet hath Sir Proteus, for that's his name, made use and fair advantage of his days. His years but young, but his experience old, his head unmellowed, but his judgment ripe. And in a word, for far behind his worth comes all the praises and I know bestow. He is complete in feature and in mind, with all good grace to grace a gentleman.
Beshrew me, sir, but if he makes this good, he is a worthy for an empress's love, as me to be an emperor's counselor. Well, sir, this gentleman has come to me with commendation from great potentates, and here he means to spend his time a while. I think 'tis no unwelcome news to you.
Should I have wished a thing, it had it been he.
Welcome him then, according to his worth. Sylvia, I speak to you, and you, Sir Thurio. For Valentine, I need not cite him to it. I will send him hither to you presently.
The Duke exits.
This is the gentleman I told your ladyship had come along with me, but that his mistress did hold his eyes locked in her crystal looks.
Belike that now she hath infringed them upon some other pound of fealty.
Nay, sure, I think she holds them prisoners still.
Nay, then, he should be blind, and being blind, how could he see his way to seek out you?
Why, lady, love hath 20 pair of eyes.
They say that love hath not an eye at all.
To see such lovers, Thurio, as yourself upon a homely object, love can wink.
Have done, here comes the gentleman.
Enter Proteus.
Welcome, dear Proteus. Mistress, I beseech you confirm his welcome with such special favor.
His worth is word for his welcome hither. If this be he you oft have wished to hear from.
Mistress, it is. Sweet lady, entertain him to be my fellow servant to your ladyship.
Too low a mistress for so high a servant.
Not so, sweet lady, but too mean a servant to have a look of such a worthy mistress.
Leave off discourse of the baby. Sweet lady, entertain him for your servant.
My duty will I boast of, nothing else.
And duty never yet did want his meed. Servant, you are welcome to a worthless mistress.
I'll die on him that says so but yourself,
That you are welcome?
that you are worthless.
Enter servant.
Madam, my lord, your father would speak with you.
I wait upon his pleasure.
Servant exits.
Come, Sir Thurio, go with me. Once more, new servant, welcome. I'll leave you to confer of home affairs. When you have done, we look to hear from you.
We'll both attend upon your workshop, on your ladyship.
Sylvia and Thurio exit.
Now tell me, how do all from whence you came?
Your friends are well, and have them much commended.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
How does your lady? And how thrives your love?
My tales of love were wont to weary you. I know you join not in a love discourse.
Ay, Proteus, but that life is altered now. I have done penance of contemning love, whose high imperious thoughts have punished me with bitter fast and penitential groans, with nightly tears and daily heart-sore sighs, for in revenge of my contempt of love, love hath chased sleep from my enthralled eyes, and made them watchers of mine own heart's sorrow. O gentle Protea, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me as I confess. There is no woe to his correction, nor to his service, no such joy on earth. Now no discourse except it be of love. Now can I break my fast, dine, soup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough. I read your fortune in your eye. Was this the idol that you worship so?
Even she, and is she not a heavenly saint?
No, but she is an earthly paragon.
Call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Oh, flatter me, for love delights in praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the like to you.
Then speak the truth by her, if not divine, yet let her be principality, sovereign to all the creatures on the earth.
Except my mistress.
Sweet, accept not any, except thou wilt accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. She shall be dignified with this high honor, to bear my lady's train, lest the base earth should from her vesture chance to steal a kiss, and of so great a favor growing proud, disdain to root the summer swelling flower, and make rough winter everlastingly.
Why, Valentine, what braggartism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus. All I can is nothing to her whose worth makes other worthies nothing. She is alone.
Then let her alone.
Not for the world. Why, man, she is mine own, and I, as rich in having such a jewel as 20 seas if all their sands were pearl, the water nectar and the rock pure gold. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, because thou seest me doubt upon my love. My foolish rival that her father likes only for his possessions are so huge, is gone with her along, and I must after for love. Thou knowest, full of jealousy.
But she loves you?
Aye, and we are betrothed. Nay, more our marriage hour, with all the cunning manner of our flight determined of, how I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, and all the means plotted and agreed on for my happiness. Good Proteus, go with me to my chamber, and these affairs to aid me with thy counsel.
Go on before. I shall inquire you forth. I must unto the road to disembark some necessaries that I needs must use, and then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will.
Valentine and Speed exit.
Even as one heat another expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object quite forgotten. Is it mine eye, or Valentine's praise, her true perfection, or my transgression that makes me reasonless to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love, that I did love. For now my love is thawed, which like a waxen image against a fire bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love his lady too much, and that's the reason I love him so little. How shall I dote on her with more advice, that thus without advice begin to love her? 'Tis but her picture I have yet beheld, and that hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill.
He exits. Act 2, Scene 5. Synopsis. Lance describes for Speed the tender parting of Proteus from Julia, and hears about Valentine's love for Sylvia. Scene 5. Enter Speed and Lance with his dog Crab.
Lance, be by mine honesty, welcome to Padua.
Forswear not thyself, sweet youth, for I am not welcome. I reckon this always, that a man is never undone till he be hanged, nor never welcome to a place till some certain shot be paid, and the hostess say welcome.
Come on, you madcap. I'll to the alehouse with you presently, where, for one shot of 5 pence, thou shalt have 5,000 welcomes. But, sirrah, how did thy master part with Madam Julia?
Marry, after they closed in earnest, they parted very fairly in jest.
But shall she marry him?
No,
How then? Shall he marry her?
no, neither.
What, are they broken?
No, they are both as whole as a fish.
Why then, how stands the matter with them?
Marry, thus, when it stands well with him, it stands well with her.
What an ass art thou, I understand thee not.
What a block art thou that thou canst not? My staff understands me.
What thou say'st.
Aye, and what I do, too. Look thee, all but lean, and my staff understands me.
Oh, it stands under thee indeed.
Why stand under? And understand is all one.
But tell me true, wilt it be a match?
Ask my dog. If he say aye, it will. If he say no, it will. If he shake his tail and say nothing, it will.
The conclusion is then that it will.
Thou shalt never get such a secret from me, but by a parable.
'Tis well that I get it so, but Lance, how sayst thou that my master is become a notable lover?
I never knew him otherwise.
And how?
A notable lubber, as thou reportest him to be.
Why, thou whoreson ass, thou mistakest me.
Why, fool, I meant not thee, I meant thy master.
I tell thee my master is become a hot lover.
Why, I tell thee, I care not though he burn himself in love. If thou wilt go with me to the alehouse, if not, thou art a Hebrew, a Jew, and not worth the name of a Christian.
Why?
Because thou hast not so much charity in thee as to go to the alehouse with a Christian. Wilt thou go?
At thy service.
They exit. Yikes.
There's some serious anti-Semitism in this.
Yeah, yikes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Act 2, Scene 6. Synopsis. Proteus decides to betray Valentine's elopement plans to Sylvia's father as a step on the way to winning Sylvia for himself. Scene 6. Enter Proteus alone.
To leave my Julia shall I be forsworn. To love fair Sylvia shall I be forsworn. To wrong my friend I shall be much forsworn. And in that power which gave me first my oath provokes me to this threefold perjury. Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. O sweet suggesting love, if thou hast sinned, teach me, thy tempted subject, to excuse it. At first I did adore a twinkling star, but now I worship a celestial sun. Unheedful vows may heedfully be broken, and he wants wit that once resolved will. To learn his wit to exchange the bad for better. Fie, unreverent tongue, to call her bad, whose sovereignty so oft thou hast preferred with 20,000 soul-confirming oaths. I cannot leave to love, and yet I do. But there I leave to love where I should love. Julia I lose, and Valentine I lose. If I keep them, I needs must lose myself. If I lose them, thus I find by their loss for Valentine myself, for Julia, Sylvia. I to myself am dearer than a friend, for love is still most precious in itself, and Sylvia, witness heaven that made her fair, shows Julia but a swarthy Ethiop. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering that my love to her is dead, and Valentine I'll hold an enemy, aiming at Sylvia as a sweeter friend. I cannot now prove constant to myself without some treachery used to Valentine. This night he meaneth with a corded ladder to climb celestial Sylvia's chamber window, myself in counsel his competitor. Now presently I'll give her father notice of their disguising and pretended flight, who, all enraged, will banish Valentine. For Turio he intends shall wed his daughter. But Valentine being gone, I'll quickly cross some sly trick, blunt Turio's dull proceeding. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, as thou hast lent me to wit to plot this drift.
He exits.
Is it Valentine or Valentine?
I've been saying Valentine, but
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
Act 2, Scene 7, synopsis. Julia decides to follow Proteus to Milan and asks Lucetta to help her disguise herself as a page. Scene 7, enter Julia and Lucetta.
Counsel, Lucetta, gentle girl, assist me, and e'en in kind love I do conjure thee. Who art the table wherein all my thoughts are visibly charted and engraved, to lesson me and tell me some good mean how with my honor I may undertake a journey to my loving Proteus?
Alas, the way is wearisome and long.
A true devoted pilgrim is not weary to measure kingdoms with his feeble steps, much less shall she that hath love's wings fly, and when the flight is made to one so dear, of such divine perfection as Sir Proteus.
Better forbear till Proteus make return.
Oh, knowest thou not his looks are my soul's food? Pity the dearth that I have pined in by longing for that food so long a time. Didst thou but know the inly touch of love, thou wouldst as soon go kindle fire with snow as seek to quench the fire of love with words.
I do not seek to quench your love's hot fire, but qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it should burn above the bounds of reason.
The more thou dampst it up, the more it burns. The current that with gentle murmur glides, thou knowest, being stopped, impatiently doth rage. But when his fair course is not hindered, he makes sweet music with the enameled stones, giving a gentle kiss to every sedge he overtaketh in his pilgrimage, and so by many winding nooks he strays with willing sport to the wild ocean. Then let me go, and hinder not my course. I'll be as patient as a gentle stream, and make a pastime of each weary step, till the last have brought me to my love, and there I'll rest as after much turmoil and blessed soul doth in Elysium.
But in what habit will you go along?
Not like a woman, for I would prevent the loose encounters with lascivious men. Gentle Lucetta, fit me with such weeds that I may, as may beseem some well-reputed page.
Why then your ladyship must cut your hair.
No, girl, I'll knit it up in silken strings. With 20 odd conceited true love knots, to be fantastic, may become a youth of greater time than I shall show to be.
What fashion, madam, shall I make your breeches?
That fits as well as, tell me, my good lord,
What compass will wear your farthingale?
What fashion thou best likes, Lucetta?
You must needs have them with a codpiece, madam.
Ow, Lucetta, that will be ill-favored.
Around clothes, madam, now's not worth a pin unless you have a codpiece to stick pins on.
Lucetta, as thou lovest me, let me have what thou thinkest meet and is most mannerly. But tell me, wench, how will the world repute me for undertaking so unstaid a journey? I fear me it will make me scandalized.
If you can, stay at home and go not.
Nay, that I will not.
Then never do not to me, but go. If Proteus likes your journey when you come, no matter who's displeased when you are gone, I fear he will scarce be pleased with all.
That is the least, Lucetta, of my fear. 1,000 oaths, an ocean of his tears, and instances of infinite love warrant me welcome to my Proteus.
All these are servants to deceitful men.
Base men that use them so to base effect, but truer stars did govern Proteus's birth. His words are bonds, his oaths are oracles, his love sincere, his thoughts immaculate, his tears pure messengers. sent from his heart as far from fraud as heaven from earth.
Pray heaven he proves so when you come to him.
Now, as thou lovest me, do him not that wrong, to bear a hard opinion of his truth, only deserve my love by loving him. And presently go with me to my chamber to take a note of what I stand in need of to furnish me upon my long journey. All that is mine I leave at thy dispose. My goods, my lands, my reputation. Only in lieu thereof dispatch me hence. Come, answer not, but do it presently. I am in patience of my tarriance.
They exit.
Girl.
Act 3, Scene 1. Synopsis. Proteus betrays Valentine's elopement plans to Sylvia's father, who banishes Valentine. Proteus pretends to grieve with Valentine and, telling him that Sylvia has been imprisoned by her father, conveys Valentine on his way into exile. Scene 1. Enter Duke, Thurio, and Proteus.
Sir Thurio, give us leave, I pray, a while. We have some secrets to confer about. Now, tell me, Proteus, what's your will with me?
My gracious lord, that which I would discover, the law of friendship bids me to conceal. But when I call to mind your gracious favors done to me, undeserving as I am, my duty pricks me on to utter that which else no worldly good should draw from me. No, worthy prince, Sir Valentine, my friend, this night intends to steal away your daughter. Myself am one made privy to the plot. I know you have determined to bestow her on Thurio, whom your gentle daughter hates, and should she thus be stolen away from you, it would be much vexation to your age. Thus, for my duty's sake, I rather chose to cross my friend in his intended drift, than by concealing it, heap on your head a pack of sorrows, which would press you down, being unprevented to your timeless grave.
Proteus, I thank thee for thine honest care, which to requite command me while I live. This love of theirs myself have often seen, haply when they have judged me fast asleep, and oftentimes have purposed to forbid Sir Valentine her company and my court. But, fearing lest my jealous aim might err, and so unworthily disgrace the man, a rashness that I ever yet have shunned, I gave him gentle looks, thereby to find that which thyself hast now disclosed to me. And that thou mayest perceive my fear of this, knowing that tender youth is soon suggested, I nightly lodge her in an upper tower, the key of whereof myself have ever kept, and thence she cannot be conveyed away.
No, noble lord, they have devised a mean how he her chamber window will ascend, and with a corded ladder fetch her down, for which the youthful lover now is gone, and this way comes he with it presently, where, if it please you, you may intercept him. But, my good lord, do it so cunningly that my discovery be not aimed at. For love of you, not hate unto my friend, hath made me publisher of this pretense.
Upon mine honor, he shall never know that I had any light from thee of this.
Adieu, my lord. Sir Valentine is coming.
Proteus exits. Enter Valentine.
Sir Valentine, whither away so fast?
Please it your grace, there is a messenger that stays to bear my letters to my friends, and I am going to deliver them.
Be they of much import?
The tenor of them doth but signify my health and happy being at your court.
Nay, then no matter. Stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs that touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee that I have sought to match my friend Sir Thurio to my daughter.
I know it well, my lord, and sure the match were rich and honorable. Besides, the gentleman is full of virtue, bounty, worth, and qualities, beseeming such a wife as your fair daughter. Cannot your grace win her to fancy him?
No, trust me, she is peevish, sullen, froward, proud, disobedient, stubborn, lacking duty, neither regarding that she is my child, nor fearing me as if I were her father. And may I say to thee, this pride of hers, upon advice, hath drawn my love from her, And where I thought the remnant of mine age should have been cherished by her childlike duty, I now am full resolved to take a wife and turn her out to who will take her in. Then let her beauty be her wedding dower. For me and my possessions she esteems not.
What would your grace have me to do in this?
There is a lady in Verona here whom I affect, but she is nice and coy and not esteems my aged eloquence. Now, therefore would I have thee to my tutor. For long agone I have forgot to court. Besides, the fashion of the time is changed, and how and which way I may bestow myself to be regarded in her sun-bright eye.
Win her with gifts if she respect not words. Dumb jewels often in their silent kind, more than quick words, do move a woman's mind.
But she did not scorn a present that I sent her.
Holy shit.
A woman sometimes scorns what best contents her. Send her another, never give her o'er, for scorn at first makes after the love the more. If she do frown, 'tis not in hate of you, but rather to beg it more love in you. If she do chide, 'tis not to have you gone, for why the fools are mad if left alone. Take no repulse, whatever she doth say, for get you gone she doth not mean. Away! Flatter and praise, commend, extol their graces. Through ne'er so black, so they have angel faces. That man that hath a tongue, I say, is no man, if with his tongue he cannot win a woman.
But she, is promised by her friends unto a youthful gentleman of worth, and kept severely from resort of men, that no man hath access by day to her.
Why then I would resort to her by night.
Aye, but the doors be locked and keys kept safe, that no man hath recourse to her by night.
What lets but one may enter at her window?
Oh,
Her
shit.
chamber is aloft, far from the ground, and built so shelving that one cannot climb it without apparent hazard of his life.
Why, then a ladder quaintly made of cords, to cast up with a pair of anchoring hooks, that would serve to scale another hero's tower, so bold Linder would adventure it.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of blood, advise me where I may have such a ladder.
When would you use it? Pray, sir, tell me that.
This very night, for love is like a child that longs for everything that he can come by.
By 7 o'clock I'll get you such a ladder.
But hark thee, I will go to her alone. How shall I best convey the ladder thither?
It will be light, my lord, that you may bear it under a cloak that is of any length.
A cloak as long as thine will serve the turn?
Oh,
Aye, my good lord.
shit.
Then let me see thy cloak. I'll get me one of such another length.
Why, any cloak will serve the turn, my lord.
How shall I fashion me to wear a cloak? I pray thee, let me feel thy cloak upon me.
Pulling off the cloak, he reveals a rope ladder and a paper.
Oh,
What
shit.
letter is this same? What's here? To Sylvia. And here an engine fit for my proceeding. I'll be so bold to break the seal for once. My thoughts do harbor with my Sylvia nightly, and slaves they are to me that send them flying. Oh, could their master come and go as lightly, himself would lodge where senseless they are lying. My herald thoughts in thy pure bosom arrest them, while I, their king, that thither them importune, do curse the grace that with such grace hath blessed them, because myself do want my servants' fortune. I curse myself, for they are sent by me, that they should harbor their lord should be. What's here? Sylvia, this night I will enfranchise thee. 'Tis so, and here's the ladder for the purpose. Why, Phaeton, for thou art Merip's son, wilt thou aspire to guide the heavenly car with thy darling folly burn the world? Wilt thou reach stars because they shine on thee? Go, base intruder, overweening slave, bestow thy fawning smiles on equal mates, and think my patience more than thy desert is privilege for thy departure hence. Thank me for this more than for all the favors which all too much I have bestowed on thee. But if thou linger in my territories longer than swiftest expedition will give thee time to leave our royal court, by heaven, my wrath shall far exceed the love I ever bore my daughter or thyself. Begone! I will not hear thy vain excuse, but as thou lovest thy life, make speed from hence.
He exits.
Why not? And why not death rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself, banished from her. Is self from self a deadly banishment? What light is light if Sylvia be not seen? What joy is joy if Sylvia be not by, unless it be to think that she is by and feed upon the shadow of perfection? Except I be by Sylvia in the night, there is no music in the nightingale. Unless I took on Sylvia in the day, there is no day for me to look upon. She is my essence, and I live to be if I be not by her fair influence, fostered, illumined, cherished, kept alive. I fly not death to fly his deadly doom. Tarry I here, I but attend on death, but fly I hence. I fly away from life.
Enter Proteus and Lance.
Run, boy, run, and seek him out.
So ho, so ho!
What seest thou?
Him we go to find. There's not a hair on his head but 'tis a Valentine.
Valentine?
No,
Who then? His spirit?
neither,
What then?
nothing.
Can nothing speak? Oh, sorry.
Can nothing speak? Master, shall I strike?
Who wouldst thou strike?
Nothing.
Villain, forbear.
Why, sir, I'll strike nothing, I pray you.
Hurrah, I say forbear. Friend Valentine, a word.
My ears are stopped and cannot hear good news. So much of bad already hath possessed me.
Then in dumb silence will I bury mine, for they are harsh, untunable, and bad.
Is Sylvia dead?
No, Valentine.
No Valentine indeed for sacred Sylvia. Hath she forsworn me?
No, Valentine.
No Valentine if Sylvia hath forsworn me. What is your news?
Sir, there is a proclamation that you are vanished.
That thou art banished. Oh, that's the news. From hence, from Sylvia, and from me, thy friend.
Oh, I have fed upon this woe already, and now excess of it will make me sore fit. Doth Sylvia know that I am banished?
Aye, and she hath offered to the doom with which unreversed stands in effectual force, a sea of melting pearl, which some call tears. Those at her father's churlish feet she tendered, with them upon her knees her humble self, wringing her hands, whose whiteness so became them, as if but now they waxed pale for woe. But neither bended knees, pure hands held up, sad sighs, deep groans, nor silver-shedding tears could penetrate her uncompassionate sire. But Valentine, if he be ta'en, must die. Besides, her intercession chafed him so, when she for thy repeal was suppliant, that to close prison he commanded her, with many bitter threats of biting there.
No more, unless the next word that thou speakst have some malignant power upon my life. If so, I pray thee breathe it in mine ear, as ending anthem of my endless dolor.
Cease to lament for that thou canst not help, and study help for that which thou lamentest. Time is the nurse and breeder of all good. Here, if thou stay, thou canst not see thy love. Besides, thy staying will abridge thy life. Hope is a lover's staff. Walk hence with that, and manage it against despairing thoughts. Thy letters may be here, though thou art hence, which, being writ to me, shall be delivered even in the milk-white bosom of thy love. The time now serves not to expostulate. Come, I'll convey thee through the city gate, and ere I part with thee, confer at large of all that may concern thy love affairs. As thou lovest Sylvia, though not for thyself, regard thy danger and along with me.
I pray thee, Lance, and if thou seest my boy, bid him make haste and meet me at the north gate.
Go, Sirrah, and find him out. Come, Valentine.
Oh, my dear Sylvia, hapless Valentine.
Valentine and Proteus exit. I am but a fool, look you, and yet I have the wit to think my master is a kind of knave. But that's all one if he be but one knave. He lives not now that knows me to be one in love, yet I am in love. But a team of horse shall not pluck that from me, nor who 'tis I love, nor to his I love. And yet 'tis a woman, but what woman I will not tell myself. And yet 'tis a milkmaid, and yet 'tis not a maid, for she hath had gossips. Yet 'tis a maid, for she is her master's maid and serves for wages. She hath more qualities than a water spaniel, which is much in a bare Christian. He takes out a piece of paper. Here is the catalogue of her condition. Imprimis, she can fetch and carry. Why, a horse can do no more. Nay, a horse cannot fetch, but only carry. Therefore, is she better than a jade. Item, she can milk. Look you, a sweet virtue in a maid with clean hands. Enter Speed.
How now, Signor Lance? What news with your mastership?
With my master's ship? Why, it is at sea.
Well, your old vice still. Mistake the word. What news, then, in your paper?
The blackest news that thou ever heardst.
Why, man? How black?
Why, as black as ink.
Let me read them.
Fie on thee, jolthead, thou canst not read.
Thou liest. I can.
I will try thee. Tell me this, who begot thee?
Mary, the son of my grandfather.
O illiterate loiterer, it was the son of thy grandmother. This proves that thou canst not read.
Come, fool, come, try me in thy paper.
There, and St. Nicholas be thy speed.
Imprimis she can milk.
Aye, that she can.
Item she brews good ale.
And thereof comes the proverb, blessings of your heart, you brew good ale.
Item she can sew.
That's as much to say, can she so?
Item she can knit.
What need a man care for a stock with a wench when she can knit him a stock?
Item she can wash and scour.
A special virtue, for then she need not be washed and scoured.
Item she can spin.
Then I may set the world on wheels, when she can spin for her living.
Item she hath many nameless virtues.
That's as much to say, bastard virtues, that indeed know not their fathers, and therefore have no names.
Here follow her vices. Here, follow her vices.
Close at the heels of her virtues.
Item, she is not to be kissed fasting in respect of her breath.
Well, that fault may be mended with a breakfast. Read on.
Item, she hath a sweet mouth.
That makes amends for her sour breath.
Item, she doth talk in her sleep.
It's no matter for that, so she sleep not in her talk.
Item, she is slow in words.
Oh, villain, let's set this down among her vices. To be slow in words is a woman's only virtue. I pray thee, out with and place it for her chief virtue.
Item, she is proud.
Out with that too. It was Eve's legacy, and cannot be taken from her.
Item, she hath no teeth.
I can't have that neither, because I love crusts.
Item, she is cursed.
Well, the best is she hath no teeth to bite.
Item, she will often praise her liquor.
If her liquor be good, she shall. If she will not, I will, for good things should be praised.
Item, she is too liberal.
Of her tongue she cannot, for that what's writ down she is slow of. Of her purse she shall not, for that I'll keep shut. Now, of another thing she may, and that I cannot help. Well, proceed.
Item, she hath more hair than wit, and more faults than hairs, and more wealth than faults.
Stop there, I'll have her. She was mine and not mine twice or thrice in that last article. Rehearse that once more.
Item, she hath more hair than wit.
More hair than wit? It may be, I'll prove it. The cover of the salt hides the salt, and therefore it is more than the salt. The hair that covers the wit is more than the wit, for the greater hides the less. What's next?
And more faults than hairs,
That's monstrous. Oh, that were out.
and more wealth than faults.
Why, that word makes the faults gracious. Well, I'll have her. And if it be a match, as nothing is impossible,
What then?
why, then will I tell thee that my master stays for thee at the north gate.
Me?
For thee? Aye, who art thou? He hath stayed for a better man than thee.
Must I go to him?
Thou must run to him, for thou hast stayed so long that going will scarce serve the turn.
Why didst not tell me sooner? Pox of your love letters.
He exits. Now will he be swinged for reading my letter. An unmannerly slave that will thrust himself into secrets, all after to rejoice in the boy's correction. He exits. Act 3, Scene 2. Synopsis. The Duke enlists Proteus's aid in making Silvio fall in love with Thurio. Proteus offers to slander Valentine and to help Thurio find musicians to serenade Silvia. Scene 2. Enter Duke and Thurio.
Sir Thurio, fear not but that she will love you, now Valentine is banished from her sight.
Since his exile, she hath despised me most, forsworn my company and railed at me, that I am desperate of obtaining her.
This weak impress of love is as a figure trenched in ice, which with an hour's heat dissolves to water and doth lose his form. A little time will melt her frozen thoughts, and worthless Valentine shall be forgot.
Enter Proteus.
How now, Sir Proteus, is your countryman, according to our proclamation, gone?
Gone, my good lord.
My daughter takes his going grievously.
A little time, my lord, will kill that grief.
So I believe, but Thurio thinks not so. Proteus, the good conceit I hold of thee, for thou hast shown some sign of good desert, makes me the better to confer with thee.
Longer than I prove loyal to your grace, let me not live to look upon your grace.
Thou knowest how willingly I would effect the match between Sir Thurio and my daughter.
I do, my lord.
And also I think thou art not ignorant how she opposes her against my will.
She did, my lord, when Valentine was here.
Aye, and perversely she perseveres so. What might we do to make the girl forget the love of Valentine and love Sir Thurio?
The best way is to slander Valentine with falsehood, cowardice, and poor descent. 3 things that women highly hold and hate.
Aye, but she'll think that it is spoken hate.
Aye, if his enemy deliver it. Therefore, it must with circumstance be spoken by one whom she esteemeth as his friend.
Then you must undertake to slander him.
And that, my lord, I shall be loath to do. 'Tis an ill office for a gentleman, especially against his very friend.
Where your good word cannot disadvantage him, your slander never can endamage him. Therefore, the office is indifferent, being entreated to it by your friend.
You have prevailed, my lord. If I can do it by aught that I can speak in his dispraise, she shall not long continue love to him. But say this weed her love for Valentine, it follows not that she will love Sir Thurio.
Therefore, as you unwind her love from him, lest it should ravel and be good to none, you must provide to bottom it on me, which must be done by praising me as much as you in worth dispraise Sir Valentine.
And, Proteus, we dare trust you in this kind, because we know, on Valentine's report, you are already love's firm votary, and cannot soon revolt and change your mind. Upon this warrant shall you have access, where you with Silvia may confer at large. For she is lumpish, heavy, melancholy, and for your friend's sake will be glad of you. Where you may temper her by your persuasion to hate young Valentine and love my friend.
As much as I can do, I will effect. But you, Sir Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay in line to tangle her desires. beat by wailful sonnets, whose composed rhymes should be full fraught with serviceable vows.
Aye, much is the force of heaven-bred poesy.
Say that upon the altar of her beauty, you sacrifice your tears, your sighs, your heart. Write till your ink be dry, and with your tears moist it again, and frame some feeling line that may discover such integrity. For Orpheus's lute was strung with poet's sinews, whose golden touch could soften steel and stones, make tigers tame, and huge leviathans forsake unsounded deeps to dance on sands. After your dire lamenting elegies, visit by night your lady's chamber window with some sweet consort. To their instruments tune a deploring dump. The night's dead silence will well welcome such sweet complaining grievance. This, or else nothing, will inherit her.
This discipline shows thou hast been in love.
And thy advice this night I'll put in practice. Therefore, sweet Proteus, by direction giver, let us unto the city presently to sort some gentlemen well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn to give the onset to thy good advice.
About it, gentlemen.
We'll wait upon your grace till after supper, and afterward determine our proceedings.
Even now about it, I'll pardon you.
I like tune a deploring dump.
Rebecca, sweetie, you're muted.
Yeah, you on mute.
Whoops. Okay. Act 4, Scene 1. Synopsis. Valentine and Speed are captured by outlaws. Valentine agrees to become their captain. Scene 1. Enter certain outlaws.
Fellows, stand fast. I see a passenger.
If there be 10, shrink not, but down with them.
Enter Valentine and Speed.
Stand, sir, and throw us that you have about you. If not, we'll make you sit and rifle you.
Sir, we are undone. These are the villains that all the travelers do fear so much.
My friends.
That's not so, sir. We are your enemies.
Peace, we'll hear them.
Aye, by my beard we will, for he is a proper man.
Then know that I have little wealth to lose. A man I am crossed with adversity. My riches are these poor habiliments, of which if you should here to furnish me, you take the sum and substance that I have.
Whither travel you?
To Verona.
Whence came you?
From Milan.
Have you long sojourned there?
Some 16 months, and longer might have stayed if crooked fortune had not thwarted me.
What, were you banished thence?
I was.
For what offense?
For that which now torments me to rehearse. I killed a man whose death I much repent, but yet I slew him manfully in fight without false vantage or base treachery.
Why, ne'er repent it if it were done so. But you were banished for so small a fault?
I was, and held me glad of such a doom.
Have you the tongues?
My youthful travel therein made me happy, or else I often had been miserable.
By the bare scalp of Robin Hood's fat friar, this fellow were a king for our wild faction.
We'll have him, sirs, a word.
The outlaws step aside to talk.
Sir. Nope. Master. Be one of them. It's an honorable kind of thievery.
Peace, villain.
Is it switched in your book?
Peace, villain.
Oh, shit. Tell us this. Have you anything to take to?
Nothing but my fortune.
Know then that some of us are gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth thrust from the company of awful men. Myself was from Verona banished for practicing to steal away a lady, an heir and near allied unto the Duke.
And I from Mantua, for a gentleman who, in my mood, I stabbed unto the heart.
And I, for such like petty crimes as these, but to the purpose, for we cite our faults, that they may hold excused our lawless lives, and partly seeing you are beautified with goodly shape, and by your own report a linguist, and a man of such perfection, as we do in our quality much want.
Indeed, because you are a banished man, therefore, above the rest, we parlay to you. Are you content to be our general, to take a virtue of necessity and live as we do in the wilderness?
What sayest thou? Wilt thou be of our consort? Say I, and be the captain of us all. We'll do thee homage and be ruled by thee. Love thee as our commander and our king.
But if thou scorn our courtesy, thou diest.
Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered.
I take your offer and will live with you, provided that you do no outrages on silly women or poor passengers.
No, we detest such vile base practices. Come, go with us. We'll bring thee to our cruise and show thee all the treasure we've got, which, with ourselves, all rest at thy dispose.
They exit.
Got him a crew. That's good.
He just become the leader of their band. They don't know how to call. He's just like, here's all our treasure and also all the authority over us. It's great.
Don't you know that's how it works in organized crime? You just show up and they're like, you the
He's
boss.
our leader.
Act 4, Scene 2, synopsis. Proteus serenades Sylvia, supposedly on Thurio's behalf. As Julia watches disguised as a page, Proteus sings his love songs to Julia, woos her, and, having been rejected by her, succeeds in getting her promise to give him her portrait. Scene 2, enter Proteus.
Already have I been false to Valentine, and now I must be as unjust to Turio. Under the color of commending him, I have access my own love to prefer. But Sylvia is too fair, too true, too holy to be corrupted with my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty to her, she twits me with my falsehood to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me think how I have been forsworn in breaking faith with Julia, whom I loved. And notwithstanding all her sudden quips, the least whereof would quell a lover's hope, yet, spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. But here comes Turio. Now must we to her window and give some evening music to her ear.
Enter Thurio and musicians.
How now, Sir Proteus, are you crept before us?
Aye, gentle Turio, for you know that love will creep in service where it cannot go.
Aye, but I hope, sir, that you love not here.
Sir, but I do, or else I would be hence.
Who? Sylvia?
Aye, Sylvia, for your sake.
I thank you for your own. Now, gentlemen, let's tune and to it lustily a while.
Enter host of the inn, Julia, disguised as page Sebastian. They stand at a distance and talk.
Well, my young guest, methinks your melancholy, I pray you, why is it?
Marry my host because I cannot be married.
Come, we'll have you married. I'll bring you where you shall hear music and see the gentle that you asked for.
But shall I hear him speak?
Aye, that you shall.
That will be music.
Hark, hark.
Is he among these?
Aye, but peace. Let's hear 'em.
Song.
Who is Sylvia? What is she that all our swains commend her? Holy, fair, and wise is she, that heaven such grace did lend her, that she might admire it be. Is she kind as she is fair? For beauty lives with kindness. Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him in his blindness, and being helped inhabits there. Then to Sylvia let us sing, that Sylvia is excelling. She excels each mortal thing upon the dull earth dwelling. To her let us garlands bring.
Lord.
How now? Are you sadder than you were before? How do you, man? The music likes you not.
You mistake. The musician likes me not.
My pretty youth?
He plays false, father.
How? Out of tune on the strings?
Not so, but yet so false that he grieves my very heartstrings.
You have a quick ear.
Would I were deaf. It makes me have a slow heart.
I perceive you delight not in music.
Not a bit. When it jars so.
Hark! What fine changes in the music!
That change is the spite.
You should have them always play but one thing.
I would always have one play, but one thing. But host, doth this Sir Proteus that we talk on often resort unto this gentlewoman?
I tell you, what Lance his man told me. He loved her out of all Nick.
Where is Lance?
Gone to seek his dog, which tomorrow, by his master's command, he must carry for a present to his lady.
Music ends.
Peace. Stand aside, the company parts.
Host and Julia move away.
Sir Thurio, fear not you. I will so plead that you shall say my cunning drift excels.
Where meet we?
At St. Gregory's Well.
Farewell.
Thurio and musicians exit. Enter Sylvia above.
Madam, good even to your ladyship.
I thank you for your music, gentlemen. Who is that spec?
One lady, if you knew his pure heart's truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice.
Sir Proteus, as I take it.
Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant,
What's your will?
that I may compass yours.
You have your wish. My will is even this, that presently you hie your home to bed. Though subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man, think'st thou I am so shallow, so conceiteless, to be seduced by thy flattery, that hast deceived so many with thy vows? Return, and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night I swear, I am so far from granting thy request, that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and by intend to chide myself even for this time I spent in talking to thee.
I grant, sweet love, that I did love a lady, but she is dead.
'Twere false if I should speak it, for I am sure she is not buried.
Say that she be, yet Valentine thy friend survives, to whom thyself art witness. I am betrothed. And art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importunacy?
I likewise hear that Valentine is dead.
And so suppose I'm I, for in his grave assure thyself my love is buried.
Sweet Letty, let me rake it from the earth.
Go to thy lady's grave and call hers thence, or at the least, in her sepulchre thine.
He heard not that.
Madam, if your heart be so obdurate, vouchsafe me yet your picture for my love. The picture that is hanging in your chamber. To that I'll speak. To that I'll sigh and weep. For since the substance of your perfect self is else devoted, I am but a shadow. And to your shadow I will make true love.
If 'twere a substance, you would sure deceive it, and make it but a shadow, as am I.
I am very loath to be your idol, sir. But since your falsehood shall become you well, to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send to me in the morning, and I'll send it. And so, good rest.
Sylvia exits.
As wretches have o'ernight that wait for execution in the morn.
Proteus exits.
Host, will you go?
By my halidom, I was fast asleep.
Pray you, where lies Sir Proteus?
Marry, at my house. Trust me, I think this almost day.
Not so, but it hath been the longest night that e'er I watched, and the most heaviest.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 3. Synopsis. Sylvia, determined to escape the pursuit of Thurio and Proteus, persuades Sir Eglamour to accompany her that evening on a journey to find Valentine. Scene 3. Enter Eglamour.
This is the hour that Madam Sylvia entreated me to call and know her mind, that some great matter she employ me in. Madam! Madam!
Enter Sylvia, above.
Who calls?
Your servant and your friend, one that attends your ladyship's command.
Sir Eglamour, 1,000 times good morrow.
As many worthy lady to yourself. According to your ladyship's impose, I am thus early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in.
O Eglamour, thou art a gentleman. Think not I flatter, for I swear I do not. Valiant, wise, remorseful, well accomplished, thou art not ignorant what dear good will I bear unto the banished Valentine. Nor how my father would enforce me marry vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhorred. Thyself hast loved, and I have heard thee say no grief did ever come so near thy heart as when thy lady and thy true love died, upon whose grave thou vowest pure chastity. Sir Eglamour, I would to Valentine, to Mantua, where I hear he makes abode, and for the ways are dangerous to pass, I do desire thy worthy company, upon whose faith and honour I repose. Urge not my father's anger, Eglamour, but think upon my grief, a lady's grief, and on the justice of my flying hence to keep me from a most unholy match, which heaven and fortune still rewards with plagues. I do desire thee, even from a heart as full of sorrows as the sea of sands, to bear me company and go with me, if not, to hide what I have said to thee, that I may venture to depart alone.
Madam, I pity much your grievances, which since I know thy virtuously are placed. I give consent to go along with you, recking a little what betideth me, as much as I wish all good befortune you. When will you go?
This evening coming,
Where shall I meet you?
at Friar Patrick's cell, where I intend holy confession.
I will not fail your ladyship. Good morrow, gentle lady.
Good morrow, kind Sir Eglamour.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 4. Synopsis. Proteus learns to his horror that Lance has tried to present Crab to Sylvia as a gift. Proteus then sends Sebastian, Julia in disguise, to Sylvia with a letter and a ring. Sylvia refuses these gifts but sends Proteus the promised picture of herself. Scene 4. Enter Lance with his dog Crab. When a man's servant shall play the cur with him, look you, it goes hard. One that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning, when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it. I have taught him, even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Sylvia from my master, and I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher, and steals her capon's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. I would have, as one should say, one that takes upon him to be a dog indeed, to be, as it were, a dog at all things. If I had not more wit than he to take fault upon me that he did, I think verily he had been hanged for it. Sure as I live, he had suffered for it. You shall judge. He thrusts me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen-like dogs under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark, a-pissing, but all the chamber smelt him. Out with the dog, says one. What cur is that, says another. Whip him out, says the third. Hang him up, says the Duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell before, knew it was Crab, and goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Ay, marry do I, quoth he. You do him more the wrong, quoth I. 'Twas I did the thing you wot of. He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for his servant? Nay, I'll be sworn, I have sat in the stocks for puddings as hath stolen. Otherwise he had been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed, otherwise he'd have suffered for it. Thou thinkest not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madam Sylvia. Did not I bid thee still mark me, and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale? Didst thou ever see me do such a trick? Enter Proteus and Julia disguised as Sebastian.
Sebastian is thy name? I like thee well, and will employ thee in some service presently.
And what you please, I'll do what I can.
I hope thou wilt. How now, you whoreson peasant? Where have you been these 2 days loitering?
Marry, sir, I carried Mistress Sylvia the dog you bade me.
And what says she to my little jewel?
Mary, she says your dog was a cur, and tells you currish thanks is good enough for such a present.
Was she received my dog?
No, indeed she did not. Here have I brought him back again.
What? Didst thou offer her this from me?
Aye, sir. The other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman's boy in the marketplace, and then I offered her mine own, who is a dog as big as 10 of yours, and therefore the gift the greater.
Go, get thee hence, and find my dog again, or ne'er return again into my sight. Away, I say. Stayest thou to vex me here? A slave
with Crab.
A slave that still and turns me to shame. Sebastian, I have entertained thee partly by such a youth that can with some discretion do my business. For 'tis no trusting to yon foolish lout, but chiefly for thy face and thy behavior, which, if my augury deceive me not, witness good bringing up, fortune and truth. Therefore, know thou, for this I entertain thee. Go presently, and take this ring with thee, deliver it to Madam Sylvia. She loved me well, delivered it to me.
He gives her a ring.
Seems you loved not her to leave her token. Be like she dead? Is she dead, belike?
Not so. I think she lives.
Alas,
Why dost thou cry, alas?
I cannot choose but to pity her.
Wherefore shouldst thou pity her?
Because methinks that she loved you as well as you do love our Lady Sylvia. She dreams on him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary, and thinking on it makes me cry, alas.
Well, give her that ring, and therewithal this letter. That's her chamber. Tell my lady I claim the promise for her heavenly picture. Your message done, hie home unto my chamber, where thou shalt find me sad and solitary.
Proteus exits.
How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. But alas, poor fool, why do I pity him? That with his very heart despiseth me. Because he loves her, he despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me, to bind him to remember my goodwill. And now am I unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his faith which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet I will woo for him, but yet so coldly, as heaven it knows I would not have him speed.
Enter Sylvia.
Gentlemen, good day. I pray you be my mean to bring me where to speak with Madam Sylvia.
What would you with her if that I be she?
If you be she, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak the message I am sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus, madam.
Oh, he sends you for a picture?
Aye, madam.
Ursula, bring my picture there.
She has brought the picture.
So, give your master this. Tell him from me, one Julia, that his changing thoughts forget. Would better fit his chamber than this shadow.
Shit.
Madam, please you peruse this letter?
She gives Sylvia a paper.
Pardon me, madam, I have unadvised delivered you a paper that I should not. This is the letter for your ladyship.
She takes back the first paper and hands Sylvia another.
I pray thee, let me look on that again.
It may not be, good madam, pardon me.
There, hold. I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of new-found oaths, which he will break as easily as I do tear this paper.
She tears the second paper.
Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring.
She offers Sylvia a ring.
The more shame for him that he sends it to me, for I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger have profaned the ring, mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
What sayest thou?
I thank you, madam, that you tender her, poor gentlewoman my master wrongs her much.
Dost thou know her?
Yeah, almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest that I have wept 100 several times.
Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her?
I think she doth, and that's her cause for sorrow.
Is she not passing fair?
She hath been fairer, madam, than she is. When she did think my master loved her well, she, in my judgment, was as fair as you. But since she did neglect her looking-glass and threw her sun-expelling mask away, the air hath starved the roses in her cheeks and pinched the lily tincture of her face, that now she is become as black as I.
How tall was she?
About my stature. For Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youth got me to play the woman's part. And I was trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served me as fit by all men's judgment as if the garment had been made for me. Therefore, I know she is about my height, and at the time I made her weep a good, for I did play a lamentable part. Madam, 'twas Ariadne, passioning for Theseus' perjury and unjust flight, which I so lively acted with my tears that my poor mistress moved therewithal wept bitterly, and would I might be dead if I in thought felt not her very sorrow.
She is beholden to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, desolate and left. I weep myself to think upon thy words. Here, youth, there is my purse.
She gives Julia a purse.
I give thee this, for thy sweet mistress' sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell.
And she shall thank you for it if e'er you know her.
Sylvia exits.
Virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress's love so much. Alas, how can love trifle it with itself? Here's her picture. Let me see. I think if I had such attire, this face of mine were full as lovely as this of hers, and yet the painter flattered her a little. Unless I flatter myself too much. Her hair is auburn, mine is perfect yellow. If that be all the difference in his love, I'll get me such a colored periwig. Her eyes are gray as glass, and so are mine. Aye, but her forehead's low, and mine's as high. What should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respective in myself? If this fond love were not a blinded god, come, shadow, come, and take this shadow up, for this thy rival. O thou senseless form, thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, and adored, and were the sense of his idolatry. My substance should be statue in thy stead. I'll use thee kindly for thy mistress's sake, but use me so, or else by Jove, I vow, I would have scratched out your unseeing eyes to make my master out of love with thee.
She exits. Act 5, Scene 1. Sylvia and Sir Eglamour set out on their journey. Scene 1. Enter Eglamour.
The sun begins to gild the western sky. Now it is about the very hour that Sylvia at Friar Patrick's cell should meet me. She will not fail, for lovers break not hours, unless it be to come before their time, so much they spur their expedition.
Enter Sylvia.
See where she comes. Lady, a happy evening.
A man, go on, good Eglamour. Out at the postern by the abbey wall. I fear I am attended by some spies.
Fear not, the forest is not 3 leagues off. If we recover that, we are sure enough.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 2. Synopsis. The Duke informs Proteus and Thurio of Sylvia's flight. They each decide to follow her. Scene 2. Enter Thurio, Proteus, and Julia disguised as Sebastian.
Sir Proteus, what says Sylvia to my suit?
Oh, sir, I find her milder than she was, and yet she takes exceptions at your person.
What, that my leg is too long?
No, that it is too little.
I'll wear a boot to make it somewhat rounder. But love will not be spurred to what it loathes. What says she to my face?
She says it is a fair one.
Then the wanton lies. My face is black.
But pearls are fair, and the old saying is, black men are pearls in beauteous ladies' eyes. True.
'Tis true, but such pearls as put out ladies' eyes, for I had rather wink than look on them.
How likes she my discourse?
Ill when you talk of war.
But well when I discourse of love and peace.
But better indeed when you hold your peace.
What says she to my valor?
Oh, sir, she makes no doubt of that.
She needs not when she knows it cowardice.
What says she to my birth?
That you are well derived.
True, from a gentleman to a fool.
Considers she my possessions?
Oh, aye, and pities them.
Wherefore?
That such an ass should owe them.
That they are out by lease.
Here comes the Duke.
Enter Duke.
How now, Sir Proteus? How now, Thurio? Which of you saw Eglamour of late?
Not I.
Nor I.
Saw you my daughter?
Neither. Neither.
Why then she's fled. Why then she's fled unto that peasant Valentine, and Eglamour is in her company. 'Tis true, for Friar Lawrence met them both as he, in penance, wandered through the forest. Him he knew well, and guessed that it was she, but being masked, he was not sure of it. Besides, she did intend confession at Patrick's cell this even, and there she was not. These likelihoods confirm her flight from hence. Therefore, I pray you stand not to discourse, but mount you presently and meet with me upon the rising of the mountain foot that leads toward Mantua, whither they are fled. Dispatch, sweet gentlemen, and follow me.
He exits.
Why, this it is to be a peevish girl that flies her fortune when it follows her. I'll after more to be revenge on Eglamour than for the love of reckless Sylvia.
And I will follow, more for Sylvia's love than hate of Eglamour that goes with her.
They exit.
And I will follow more to cross that love than hate for Sylvia that is gone for love.
She exits. Act 5, Scene 3. Sylvia is captured by the outlaws, while Sir Eglamour flees. Scene 2. Enter Sylvia and outlaws.
Come, be patient. We must bring you to our captain.
1,000 more mischances than this one have learned me how to brook this patiently.
Come, bring her away.
Where is the gentleman that was with her?
Being nimble-footed, he hath outrun us, but Moses and Valerius follow him. Go thou with her to the west end of the wood, where there is our captain. We'll follow him that is fled. The thickest is beset, he cannot escape.
Second and third outlaws exit.
Come, I must bring you to our captain's cave. Fear not, he bears an honorable mind and will not use a woman lawlessly.
Oh, Valentine, this I endure for thee.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 4. Synopsis. As Valentine watches from hiding, Sylvia is brought in by Proteus, who has taken her from the outlaws. Proteus pleads for Sylvia's love, and when she refuses him, he tries to rape her.
What?
Valentine... Yikes. Valentine prevents the rape, listens to Proteus' speech of repentance, and as a gesture of his friendship, offers his rights in Sylvia to Proteus. Julia faints. On recovering, she reveals herself and accuses Proteus of inconstancy. He again repents, and Julia accepts his protestations of love. The outlaws bring in the Duke and Thurio. When Thurio refuses to fight for Sylvia, the Duke accepts Valentine as his son-in-law. Lord. Scene 4. Enter Valentine.
How use doth breed a habit in a man, the shadowy desert, unfrequented woods. I better broke them flourishing peopled towns where I sit alone unseen of any to the nightingales, complaining notes, tune my distresses and record my woes. O thou that dost inhabit in my breast, leave not the mansion so long tenantless, lest growing ruinous the building fall and leave no memory of what it was. Prepare me with the present, Sylvia. Thou gentle nymph, cherish thy forlorn swain.
Shouting and sounds of fighting.
What hollowing and what stir is this today? There are my mates that make their wills their law. Have some unhappy passenger in chase. They love me well, yet I have much to do to keep them from uncivil outrages. Withdraw thee, Valentine. Who is this comes here?
He steps aside. Enter Proteus, Sylvia, and Julia disguised as Sebastian.
Madam, this service I have done for you, though ye respect not aught your servant doth, to hazard life and rescue you from him that would have forced your honor and your love. Vouchsafe me for my meed but one fair look. A smaller boon than this I cannot beg, and less than this I am sure you cannot give.
How like a dream is this I see and hear. Love, lend me patience to forbear a while.
Oh, miserable, unhappy that I am.
Unhappy were you, madam, ere I came, but by my coming I have made you happy.
By thy approach thou makest me most unhappy.
And me when he approacheth to your presence.
Had I been seized by a hungry lion, I would have been of breakfast to the beast, rather than have false Proteus rescue me. Oh, heaven, be judge how I love Valentine, whose life's as tender to me as my soul. And full as much, for some cannot be, I do detest false perjured Proteus. Therefore be gone, solicit me no more.
What dangerous action, stood it next to death, would I not undergo for one calm look? Oh, 'tis the curse in love, and still approved when woman cannot love where they're beloved.
But Proteus cannot love where he's beloved. Read over Julia's heart, thy first best love, for whose dear sake thou didst then rend thy faith into 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended into perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left now, unless thou too. That's far worse than none. Better have none than plural faith, which is too much by one. Thou counterfeit to thy true friend.
In love, who respects friend?
All men but Proteus.
Nay, if the gentle spirit of moving words can no way change you to a milder form, I'll woo you like a soldier at arm's end, and love you gainst the nature of love. Force ye.
He seizes her.
Oh, heaven!
I'll force thee yield to my desire.
Ugh. Ruffian! Let go that rude uncivil touch, thou friend of an ill fashion.
Valentine!
Thou common friend that's without faith or love, for such is a friend now. Treacherous man, thou hast beguiled my hopes, not by mine eye could have persuaded me. Now I dare not say I have one friend alive, thou wouldst disapprove me. Who should be trusted when one's right hand is perjured to the bosom? Proteus, I am sorry I must never trust thee more, but count the world a stranger for thy sake. The private wound is deepest. Oh, time most accursed. Mongst all foes that a friend should be the worst.
My shame and guilt confounds me. Forgive me, Valentine. If hearty sorrow be a sufficient ransom for offense, I tender tear. I do as truly suffer as ere I did commit.
Then I am paid, and once again I do receive the honest, who by repentance it is not satisfied is nor of heaven nor earth, for these are pleased. By penitence the eternal wraths appeased, and that my love may appear plain and free, all that was mine in Sylvia I give thee.
Oh, me unhappy.
She swoons.
Look to the boy.
Why, boy? Why wag how now? What's the matter?
What's the matter?
What's up?
Oh, good sir. Oh, good sir, my master charged me to deliver a ring to Madame Sylvia, which out of my neglect was never done.
Where is that ring, boy?
Here, 'tis, this is it.
She rises and hands him a ring.
How? Let me see. Why, this is the ring I gave to Julia.
Oh, cry you mercy, sir. I have mistook. This is the ring you sent to Sylvia.
But
She
how
offered
camest thou by this ring? At my depart I gave this unto Julia.
And Julia herself did give it me, and Julia herself hath brought it here.
She reveals herself.
How? Julia!
Behold, her that gave to aim all thy oaths and entertained them deeply in her heart. How oft hast thou with perjury cleft the root? Oh, Proteus, let this habit make thee blush. Be thou ashamed that I have took upon me such an immodest raiment. If shame live in a disguise of love, it is the lesser blot modesty finds women to change their shapes than men their minds.
And men their minds? 'Tis true. Oh, heaven, were man but constant, he were perfect. That one error fills him with faults, makes him run through all the sins. Inconstancy falls off ere it begins. What is in Sylvia's face, but I may spy more fresh in Julia's, with a constant eye.
Come, come, a hand from either. Let me be blessed to make this happy close. 'Twere pity too much two such friends should be long foes.
Valentine joins the hands of Julia and Proteus.
Bear witness, heaven, I have my wish forever.
And I mine.
Enter Thurio, Duke, and outlaws.
Surprise, surprise, surprise!
Forbear, forbear, I say. It is my lord, the Duke.
The outlaws release the Duke and Thurio.
Your grace is welcome to a man disgraced. Banished Valentine.
Sir Valentine?
Yonder is Sylvia, and Sylvia's mine.
Thurio, give back or else embrace thy death. Come not within the measure of my wrath. Do not name Sylvia thine, if once again Verona shall not hold thee. Here she stands. Take but possession of her with a touch. I dare thee but to breathe upon my love.
Sir Valentine, I care not for her. I hold him but a fool that will endanger his body for a girl that loves him not. I claim her not, and therefore she is thine.
The more degenerate and base art thou to make such means for her as thou hast done, and leave her on such slight conditions. Now, by the honor of my ancestry, I do applaud thy spirit, Valentine, and think thee worthy of an empress's love. Now, then, I here forget all former griefs, cancel all grudge, repeal thee home again, plead a new state in thy unrivaled merit, to which I thus subscribe. Sir Valentine, thou art a gentleman, and well derived. Take thou thy Sylvia, for thou hast deserved her.
I thank your grace. The gift hath made me happy. I now beseech you for your daughter's sake, to grant one boon that I shall ask of you.
I grant it for thine own, whate'er it be.
These banished men that I have kept withal are men endued with worthy qualities. Forgive them for what they have committed here, and let them be recalled from their exile. They are reformed, civil, full of good, and fit for great employment, worthy lord.
Thou hast prevailed. I pardon them and thee. Dispose of them as thou knowest their deserts. Come, let us go. We will conclude all jars with triumphs, mirth, and rare solemnity.
And as we walk along, I dare be bold with our discourse to make your grace to smile. What think you of this page, my lord?
I think the boy hath grace in him. He blushes.
I warrant you, my lord, more grace than boy.
What do you mean you by that saying?
Please you, I'll tell you as we pass along, that you will wonder what hath fortunate. Come, Proteus, 'tis your penance but to hear the story of our loves discovered. That done our day of marriage shall be yours, one feast, one house, one mutual happiness.
They exit.
Oh,
That's a stupid fucking play.